Hey, good evening, everyone. So, it's good to see you guys all tonight. I see, let's see, we've had Renee popping in, Carrie here, working on more computer work, taking a break. Just Jason Keto and JC, hey, welcome. And Rickwin is here. The warden has joined us. Oh, and Sherry's here. Hey, hello. And let's see. So, oh, and Tutu Q Cat. Hey, you're here and you're early. And Renee is here. Let's see. Hungry Heath. Hey, yo. So, what'd you guys have for dinner? So, I've got, as you can see, a lot going on this evening. It won't be as much as it looks like once we get into it, but I kind of want to do a couple things so we can straighten up just a little bit. But let's start with our tea. Tonight what I have is, this is from The Way of Tea. It's a green tea with jasmine. Let me get into the package here. So you can see, well, I know you probably can't see from here, but so it has jasmine flowers intermixed with the green tea leaves. I know you can't see this. Well, you can see a little black speck on my hand with the leaf. So there are reasons for that. As you know, we like the green teas and we look for quality teas. This looks really small and shriveled. Of course, you can't see it from here, but what's going to happen as we get it going, it's going to bloom up and get through. So, and they will expand. So let's start with the bloom. With the green tea and the jasmine, they're more delicate teas, but we're going to be using 195 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's get this blooming. It just needs a quick little addition of some water. We just need it for like 30 seconds. Then we can put it in the pot to brew, and that is all there is to it. If you want to sweeten it, that is your option. But I do not, because jasmine and green tea are already sweet in flavor. Let's see, I see that more people have joined us. Marion, hey. Oh yeah, the nor'easters are definitely no fun. Let me throw this in the trash. I have an extra little plate here that we're going to set to the side. We've got the industrial teapot today. So, Big Mike's asking if I make Long Island iced tea, and that's a big no for ketos. I'm sure you're joking. We'll keep an eye out. Hey, good evening, Mike, Sandy. Nice to see you. So, but you know, keto people don't usually have Long Island iced teas because even though some of us may choose to have alcohol once in a while, a Long Island iced tea would be a lot of alcohol. So this first little pass through, you can see it was already dark and golden, but discard. Or you will have the bitters and the not so nice parts of the tea. And now we just add our water. So give it a second to pour on in here. Let's see, let's see. Mostly just hellos going back and forth, so not too worried about missing anything. But I am worried about my getting my. I don't have enough water in here. I'm gonna have to get some more. Let me get some more water into my kettle. As you know, filtered water is what we use for tea and coffee. So I forget that this is such a big pot that it does more than the 32 ounces. So fortunately, the kettle is like super fast. So we don't have to worry too much about it. There we go. And it'll heat right up. We'll let that finish off. Let's see. So, let's see. Yeah, I'm sorry guys, give me a second. I gotta do some moderating here. So, we don't need a bunch of non-keto things, so we'll just get rid of that. So. Let's see. All right, I think we're all set there. Sorry about that. Took just a second. I have my regular size carry, so I'll have plenty of tea. I just needed the extra water for the channel. Anyways, let's see. More jokes back and forth. So let's see. Yeah, Mike Sandy mentions that it is a gorgeous day outside here. It sure is. It is absolutely gorgeous outside. I walked to the grocery store today when I realized I didn't have any more tahini, and I needed to buy some. I foolishly thought that while we're at the international grocery, I would find the tahini. I know they have it, but I could not find it. So while I'm waiting for my water to finish heating up, let's get an important thing started. This is my little miniature hot pot. It doesn't hold a ton, but we are going to, I'm going to start by going ahead and putting my bone broth in there. We'll talk about broths again in a little bit, but this is a hot pot for one. I suppose maybe two people could use it, but we want to get that good and rolling. I've just got my pork stock in here because I'm having pork tonight. And the important thing that we need to add in here is this stuff. This is dried kelp. If you were doing a family size hot pot, you would use a larger sheet of this, but dried kelp is very strong. For heaven's sakes, I'm sorry guys, let me get rid of these. I've really got to, I'm sorry, there's a lot of extra moderating and I don't have a moderator on right now, so I apologize. So give me a minute while I take care of it. All right. Apparently it's going to be trolled tonight, so I'm sorry for the offensive messages, especially, you know. So this dried kelp, drop it in there. It's going to add a brininess because kelp is a very strong seaweed flavor. And hey Attila, I don't know if you are upstairs, but if you are, if you can hear this, I don't know if you're on the stream or not. If you can hop on and help moderate, that would be a huge, huge help. So let's see. So I will get to and talk to you about matcha in just a minute. So I want to just get this out of the way to clear some counter space. My water is now good to go. I finished topping off my teapot. And this will be ready in just like another couple minutes. So we will be in a good space there. The nice thing is that this tea is so nice and gentle that I can put it in the fridge after the stream. And then I'll have it iced tomorrow for the rest of the day. So there we go. So let's see. So basically the broth and that piece of kelp is going to get here and come to a, it'll get good and rolling. Oh, Hungry Heath is getting his hair cut. Let's see. Let's see, Renee says it's a green theme today. Lots of spring colors on the counter. Sure is. And let me see. It's also really warm in here. I'm glad that I have my ice water here. Hey, good evening, Gigi's here. So, all right. So my water is going. I'm going to add some more things to it. We'll have to fish that piece of kelp out later. But I want to show you some stuff. I'll have to grab some things from the fridge to show you as we get it in here. I am going to add things that are going to take a little longer to cook. The first thing are my little mushrooms. These are cloud mushroom. And that's one of the ones I'm going to show you. I'm going to put that in. I have the bottoms of my cabbage because that takes longer to cook. And so I just chop it up and it goes in early. Then I have the bottom of my baby bok choy. And that takes longer to cook. And so that goes right in. And then what I have are my green scallions, the bottoms of those. I've cut them into fourths and we just toss that right in so that it can start cooking in the broth. What I have over here on the rest is I have the tops of the bok choy, the tops of my cabbage. Actually, it's the sides of the cabbage, and I'll explain that again in a second, and the tops of the green onions. I'm in an oniony mood today. So let me get these things from the fridge to show you so you can see what these baby vegetables look like and the specialness of the green onions. Yeah, lots of rattling while I'm here, not in the camera for you guys. So first, the green onions. If you look at these, they're really big. They're a special variant. You find them in the Asian groceries or in the Latino markets. We love these. They are a bit sweeter than your average scallion. The bok choy, don't buy those big giant ones in the market. Get these little ones. So you can see they're much smaller. So those are two things. And then these little Napa cabbages. They're early Napa cabbages. So when you see them, and they're those giant ones, but check out these. So they're very little. So those are all you need. So you want baby vegetables because they cook nicer in the hot pot. If that's what you can get, don't worry about it. That's totally fine. Shove this all back in my fridge. I have one more thing to show you, the mushrooms in whole. So, I hope that you guys are all having like a really nice day though. So, let me see. These cloud mushrooms, these come in clusters. And when you get them, they come in the little container and they have a bottom. So see, it's all one piece. And what you do is you cut them off at the bend where this ridge is. And that's how you get the little loose mushrooms like I was putting in there. So they're kind of cool. I really like them. They're very mild flavor. It's very common in hot pot to use these shiitake mushrooms. So now that I've shared all of those with you, the other things I have some chicken meatballs because I just wanted something else. And then I have this. This is Sakura pork butt. And we'll talk more about that again in a second as well. I just have so many things to get done before we have all this lovely conversation. But this is boiling away. I'm going to go ahead and flick it to the other side. It's boiling plenty. I don't have to worry about it not cooking enough. Let's see what we've got. So many things. Let's see. Oh, Rickwin's been cleaning out the freezer. So tonight's dinner was turkey burgers. Turned out better than I thought. Yeah, you know, I had that happen recently too. They've been really good. So let's see. Carrie's asking me which herbal tea would I have if I couldn't do caffeine. You were drinking the Rubios. Yeah, the Rubios is definitely very caffeinated. I've got something. I get some really nice herbal blends from a local farmer's market here. I've also ordered things and then made it my own blends. But I like to get like the basil, lavender, lemon blend. I find that really nice. Also, chamomile is super nice and relaxing. Let's see. Oh, the talk about the matcha and that not coming out right. So yeah, we can talk about the matcha once we get through a little bit more of this. I will circle back to talking about matcha tea. Hey Pat B, nice to see you. Oh, Ella Strange, baby bok choy is a favorite. Yeah, me too. I really love it. Let's see. Tutu Cute Cat likes the little cabbages. Yeah, they look like baby romaines. Yeah, but they're baby Napa cabbage. And when I take those, you know, even though they have the stem, I usually take the leaves off and then I cut the triangles so the leafy part is separate from the crunchy part. And the crunchy part can cook in the broth. Carrie, yes, matcha definitely has caffeine. It is 100% green tea. So my tea is done steeping, so let me pull this out. And I will show you what I mean about the leaves expanding. I know we've done that before. So let's see. So that little teeny piece that I held up that you couldn't see, let's see, if I put it over my face, well, yeah, so you can see it grew out. It's all unfurled. Maybe, I don't know, I should probably come around and try and show you in the camera, but it's definitely much larger. So, all of that has gone in. And now we have our lovely, awesome hot tea. And you can see right there that lovely golden color that is from the green tea plus the jasmine tea. Well, the jasmine flowers. So, oh, and Ella Strange is talking about enoki mushrooms, how they give a nice noodle feel. Yeah, and to be honest, guys, I honestly thought about pulling out some kelp noodles to share with you guys tonight, but I already was so overwhelmed, and because I decided I wanted these vegetables, I ultimately decided I just didn't want to fiddle with kelp noodles. We'll have to do a standalone video where we talk about them all on their own. So, Sakura beef, or Sakura pork butt. So Sakura pork, if you don't know, is all of the wonderful things that keto people love about meat. Sakura pork comes from special heritage pigs. It's actually mostly in the United States a farm in Iowa. In other places they have, there are obviously other farms that have Sakura, but here that's where it normally comes from. And these Sakura pigs, they're heritage pigs, and they're kept on a regenerative farm. So they, you know, all of those things that we talk about as being great and as the talking points for why our meat eating is great, that's why. And the other thing about the Sakura pork is that it has that extra bit of fattiness to it. Grab a slice here to show you. So you can see all those lovely, lovely striations of the fat coming through. So, sorry, now I touched raw meat with my fingers. Gotta wash my hands real quick. I mean, I gotta say, that's a handy thing about being in the kitchen, right? Is we can be a little tidier. So this stuff can just simmer away. And we are now going to talk about, let's make these sauces. Again, I'm very invested in getting some space here on my little counter. Let's start with the Ponzu sauce. If you've ever seen those, most of the time they're not very keto friendly looking in the pre-made package. But Ponzu sauce, it was never something that you want to buy in the jar anyways, because it's very easy to make. In the regular world, Ponzu sauce is soy or tamari mixed equal parts with citrus, a little bit of vinegar, and some sugar or mirin. Mirin is a glucose and vinegar blend. So most of the time I use apple cider vinegar, and that's plenty of sweet for me. And I use coconut aminos because I don't have soy any longer. So we take our coconut aminos, pour it in. We take I use lime juice. They have a lot of different citruses, all related to the lemon lime. So I use lime juice because it's my favorite. You throw that in. And my apple cider vinegar. That's it. Boom. You can add other, oh, and that's not it. I'm a liar. One more thing. Maybe one more thing. I gotta get some scissors here. Thank goodness for kitchen scissors, right? These are bonito flakes. So it's actually skipjack tuna, dehydrated and flaked. A little pinch in there really makes the soury part pop. Let me just set that aside. And we mix that in, it'll melt right in. And that is Ponzu sauce. So you should know that it is tart because all of that citrus and oh my god, it's so good. I just love it. So I promised 2 sauces though. The tahini sauce. I'm going to tell you, I haven't had any other carbohydrates today so that I could have my vegetables and this tahini sauce. I'm not going to eat all of it because it would be a lot. I'll save some of it for tomorrow. So I have my tahini right in here. A lot of these things are going to sound very familiar. We're going to mix in our coconut aminos. Yes, regular tahini sauce would have soy sauce, but I use coconut aminos. Our apple cider vinegar, again, playing on that tart and that acidity. Give it a stir, see how the texture is. Normally, with this, they would be adding in a sake. That's what I was trying, that was the word I lost. I think I need a fork to give this a little bit more of a mix. So you would normally be adding a bit of sake into it, but I don't use sake very often. It's a very rare time when I will have some sake. It has to be exactly the just right one because it is made from rice, so it's not very healthy for me, and it can have a lot of carbohydrates. So you can, it's actually pretty thin, so I'm not going to add the water to it. I'm going to let it go. It doesn't need it, but I am going to add a tablespoon of sesame seeds. And then I'll just give it some extra crunch and texture and thicken it up a little bit. And now I feel lots better because our counter has a lot more space. So we'll talk about the sauces. I'm going to go and do some comments right now. Everything is boiling away pretty hardcore in this hot pot. This little hot pot was ridiculous cheap. It's super cute. It has my little anime characters on it. It's not the best electric pot ever in the whole world. Sometimes, for me, there is a style over substance. There are tons of little tabletop cookers, electric pots, single pots that you can choose from, and they're all about the same. None of them are going to be ultimately fantastic, but they have their use, and this is one of them. A little taste. Phenomenal. It's the greatest. So, let's see what we got here. Y'all, we're very talky. Nice. Let's see. Green themes. Let's see. Oh, Carrie's having invisible coffee. His zero coffee is what we'll call it. And then Rickman mentions that green tea is just the powdered green tea. So yeah, the green tea is what has the caffeine. Oh, conversations about the cloud mushrooms. Oh, let's see. Oh, joking with Renee about the shopping, green onions, tomatoes, kale. I actually like kale, by the way. I think kale is awesome. Let's see. And Hungry Heath is dressed as Porky Pig tonight. You know, wearing no pants, and you're getting your hair cut? Oh, are you getting your hair cut at home? That would make sense. So, hey, exchange student 2. Nice to see you this evening. Let's see. And, oh yes, thank you, Just Jason Keto. Remember to hit that thumbs up button. It really helps. Oh, and Carrie mentions the dandelion is a fierce tea since it's a dandelion. Yes. And dandelion is really nice. If you get that, it makes an excellent tea. I'll see if I can find a dandelion tea mix recipe for you to give you a little bit. Let's see. Hey, Air Fry and Andy. Nice to see you. Just made it home from your family, huh? Man, that pie that you posted looked so good. Let's taste the tea. Oh, yeah. Oh, and Carrie likes ginger tea. Yes. By the way, turmeric ginger. That's another non-caffeinated tea blend that you could go for. So, anyways, yeah, I hope that you had a great time, Air Fry Nanny. It sounded like a nice get-together. So, Anyway, so we've got our 2 sauces here to set here. I have this little scooping device. This is so after you put all that stuff in there that you don't have to just dig at it with your chopsticks. You can get in here with your scooper. And we'll be putting stuff back and forth. Hey, it's a single pot, so I'm double dipping, but you should know that close friends can double dip. I know. In these COVID times, that's a terrible thing to say, isn't it? But if you're like at a nicer place, whatever, don't be double dipping your dirty chopsticks that go in your mouth. There are usually some central cooking chopsticks. Use those to put in there, and then you're going to put it into your bowl, and that is where you go, and then you use your personal chopsticks. So the other thing about, so let's talk about first the tea. The tea, why green with jasmine flowers? Well, so as those of you who've been talking about the matcha know, green tea can get a strong grassy flavor to it, but it also has that little hint of a sweetness on the back end. It's a very complex flavor. Jasmine tea is super mild, but when you add it to the green tea, the jasmine really comes forward. It sweetens the entire cup of tea, and it's just, and when I say sweeten, I mean it's a little bit. It's not sweet like you added sweetener. Don't get me wrong there. If you need a lot of sweet in your tea, this is not the right tea. So then you'll need to add sweetener to it. But it adds a sweetness, it hits the sweetness receptors in your mouth when you're drinking this tea. I thought something was on my chair, but it's because it looks white on the camera, and then I realized it's the sunshine lining in on it, reflecting. Thank you, Carrie, for hitting the like button. So, the other thing, now let's talk about the HotPot itself. So HotPot it's an experience. Not only is it freaking delicious, it's an experience, an eating experience. Yeah, Dyson hasn't made an appearance. I heard him walking in the hallway, but I don't know. He's been in a lot of trouble today, so I don't know. Maybe he is feeling tired. But it's an experience. A lot of times it's a shared experience with family or friends, but it's so tasty. It's also just a sensational, a sense overpowering experience. And, or not overpowering. I don't know what the right word is, but you know, where it hits your smell and there's a lot of things to do. It's a very interactive and lovely experience. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, Renee likes when there's pomegranate, hibiscus, or deep spice flavors in tea. Hibiscus is a good option, Carrie. Now you gotta be careful with hibiscus because it can go wrong really fast. Speaking of Dyson, you guys, there he is. It's like they heard us talking. He heard us talking. So, almost every Asian culture has some version of a hot pot. Korean hot pot, Japanese hot pot, Chinese hot pot, Mongolian, Thailand, Vietnam, and they all have slight differences. Your mala hot pot, the mala tang is the one that is so searingly hot that it makes your whole mouth numb. So there's your fair warning, air frying auntie. Don't ever get the bright red mala tang hot pot. It's hot for me. It gives me tears and my tongue goes numb. I can barely eat it even though it's so delicious. Don't eat that. You'll keel over for sure. So we also have a family hot pot. I didn't bring the electric device down up because I figure you guys know what electric cookers look like, but it has a big lid. But this is our family hot pot. So you see it has two sides, so you can have two flavored broths. You can have your regular and your extra spicy. And that way everybody can have their preference, or you can try different things with it. Molotov hot pot. Yeah. It's Mala Tang, M-A-L-A. But so these, and what it does is it has the indent in the bottom, and so it sits right onto the electric cooker. You plug it in and away it goes, and it bubbles, and everybody gets to share it. The Mongolian hot pot is my favorite because it's the one, I think it looks kind of like a hat because it has a big tall center, and then it has the broth all along the sides. So there are a variety of ways that you can cook with that. I've seen some combos that are like a combo hot pot and griddle. But yeah, let's see. Oh, L Strange has had hot pot at a local restaurant but never tried to make it at home. Yeah, these, for what they are, they actually work quite great. So I'm thoroughly impressed. Let's see. So I have my clear bowl because I like that. And my spoon, of course, because you have to have one of those. Put my tablespoon in the sink. So you could do lots of different things. People often eat it in stages. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, so you should also know that eating hot pot is like well over 1,000 years old. They don't actually know if it's been around longer, but it became very mainstream during the wars when the Mongol raiders would have their parties, and hot pot was something that they had along the road at their camps because it's very friendly towards dried foods, and it rehydrates, and of course the camaraderie and the sharing of the foods. So, and when it's super cold out, you can't mess with it. So I'm just trying to make decisions now. I actually think what I'm going to do is take the lid off first of all. I see my kelp. So you saw how small it was before. Now you can see how it like almost tripled in size. And I can smell it in the broth. If you want, you can eat it. I don't know if I want to or not, so I'm going to just set it there. But it went from being that little hard, crispy piece you can see now. It's burning my fingers, but soft and pliable, fully rehydrated. Oh, thanks, Carrie. What a nice compliment. And yes, we all agree, Mongols were not one to mess with. So, but before I get to actually putting anything in here, turn it back up because I've taken the lid off. I'm just going to take a little scallion and a little mushrooms, and I dip it into the sauce because that's what you do. Bring it over to my plate. The citrus tart from that, wow. It is great. Oh, and the warden said she had to make a matcha cuppa. Yeah. So, here's what I'm going to show you. These thin little slices of pork. I've got beef on my mind, I guess. I don't know why. So, you just take it and just literally, it's going to take seconds to cook. I'm going to try the tahini sauce now. There you go. And you put it in your sauce, and it's super hot. Oh man, it's so good. Oh, yeah. And so one of the things you could do is what a lot of people do is while you're cooking all of the meats, because you don't have to do one piece at a time. So good. But you can put your meats in there. People are going to be scooping it out. But a lot of times you either just dip your noodles in there and put it back in your bowl, and then you scoop some broth over it. And as all of the different things keep cooking in there, the broth develops and grows. We're not doing a ton of that today because I only have my chicken meatballs and my pork. But oftentimes you'll have beef, pork, chicken, and many different cuts. You'll have a whole selection and lots of seafood that I have not perfected making a keto fish ball yet. I am working on it. Next week, the shop that we're going to sometimes has fresh mackerel in. I might try it again, but I just haven't gotten there yet. Let's see. Oh, and Renee says she's got a tin of the Akira ceremonial grade matcha in the fridge. Good stuff. Oh, yeah, for sure. So, I'm going to drop a meatball in there. By the way, do you all know how to hold your chopsticks? If yes, great. If anybody wants me to quick show you how, you let me know. Oh, Brenda's never had HotPot. Ooh, you should come down and visit me, and we should go to the all-you-can-eat. We'll pay the extra fee that we can have both HotPot and Korean barbecue. It's a 2-hour limit, though, so we got to eat the meats really fast. So, oh, and Elstrange says she misses the fish balls. Me too. I'm going to throw a cabbage in here again because man, what's with me? Paying attention to the computer. I'm just going to dump it in. It's done. Sauce, or throw it on my counter, whichever. I'm went into the Ponzu. I think that's, oh man. And also remember, all your slurping. The slurping of everything brings all of that forward. It helps disseminate the flavors, helps the flavor grow in your palate, the whole 9 yards. Got my meatball. Ponzu. The Ponzu is my favorite. I'm just going to throw it right in there because it's hot. And I am going to scoop some veggies out. They can go right in there. Grab some broth because I feel like it, and I can, because why not? So, let's see. Oh, and Air Fry Nanny's asking me, these are chicken meatballs. I just wanted meatballs, so they're chicken. That's what I had, so that's what we're eating. Let's throw me another piece of this pork in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. Oh, and Air Fry Auntie says, is sharing an old chopstick trick. When you struggle with them, you can put a little a rubber band on the end. They actually make some super cute little holders for the end now too. Let's see. Brenda says we can do some damage in 2 hours, no problem. Me too. It's only like $35 and then like $5 or $6 to add the Korean barbecue. Like, I can eat that, no problem. Hello, thin sliced brisket, come to me. Oh, and Sherry says she loves Ponzu and slurping. And now you know how to make your keto Ponzu. Let's see. Carrie says he just finished watching Tournament of Champions on the Food Network, and they had some dishes where they made fresh noodles, and they had a lot of slurping going on. Yep, slurping noodles is the best. Oh, Marion, you're left-handed and never managed to use chopsticks well. It takes practice. So when you're left-handed, it just takes extra time. My recommendation is that you go to the markets that have the chopsticks for kids. I don't mean that to be insulting. It's actually super cool, but they have those little toppers. Get a pair of those, and then you can work on practicing your left-handed chopstick using. I am not good with my left hand, but I can sort of do it. It's really hard, which is weird because on most things, like I can handwrite with both hands, but chopsticks is strictly a right-handed venture for me. But, let's see. Oh, Exchange Student 2 says she doesn't think that the show is on for her yet. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. That doesn't mean anything. And Brenda says she's also left-handed and just figured out the chopsticks. Oh, Ella Strange mentions that Temu has chopstick holders cheap. Yeah, by the way, this was a Temu find. It really was just great for me. I could not be happier with it. Eat my meatball. Just gonna stab it. Let's go into the tamari sauce. Out of this world. Oh, Air Fried Annie is going over to Temu now. Chopstick, they're toppers. So check on toppers, and they should look like little pandas or lions. It's Year of the Tiger, so you should be able to find some that look like tigers. And Exchange Student 2 is wondering if she holds chopsticks right. If you can pick stuff up with it and do a good and only drop half the stuff you pick up, you are good. So, but I'll just show real quick. You set your bottom chopstick here and pinch it right in the middle. You pinch it there, and the top sits on your middle finger. So you pinch it in the middle between your index and thumb and set it on top. That never moves from there. This is stationary. Then you take your top chopstick and you hold it like a pencil with your thumb and your forefinger, and that's what moves, is your index finger. So it does take practice. It took me a long time. And Exchange Student 2 said when she was in Thailand they had forks, not really chopsticks. That's correct. Thailand does not do chopsticks. It's a lot of other Asian cultures. Oh, Ella Strange says she thinks it's the Year of the Rabbit. I forget where. I do lose track sometimes. Could be right. I'm not sure. I thought it was Tiger. But maybe that was last year. I don't know. I just know that I don't pay a lot of attention to the calendars, even my regular calendar, and I'm really bad. And I'm never right, no matter what I'm looking at. So, but I did think that someone told me it was Year of the Tiger, and that's why there were a bunch of tiger stuff for sale. Right into the Ponzu. So what other questions do we have? Because I know there must be some. Or should we talk about your matcha and why it didn't come out right? Was that Tutu Q Cat who said your matcha came out not good? So with matcha, you guys can tell I super love the Ponzu, right? And it super plays extra nice with the cabbage and with the scallions, because the scallions, once they get in the broth and they cook down, become almost sweet. So the sour, vinegary, lemony, lime, citrus of the Ponzu really plays off of that. Okay, Year of the Rabbit. I don't know what, I don't know where I got tiger. With some scallions in my soup. Let me get it oniony. And for the record, I'm not eating all this tonight. This soup, that whatever is left in here, I'm going to put the lid on it, throw it in the fridge, and heat it up in the morning for breakfast. Hey, good evening, Keto Simple. Yes, and Carrie is absolutely right. Matcha has a lot of things you have to do to prepare it. And they even have a lot of matcha rituals. That they do. I need a big old bite of bok choy leaves. I'm just going to pass them through the broth. I'm going to drop them in the broth, which is what happens. Grab it right into my tamari sauce. And since Keto Simple is here, I want you guys to know that coming up here in May is a big indie meetup. It's $15. They're going to provide the food for us. And You know, Keto Simple, if you want to send a message to Shauna, Shauna can put out information into the channel as our moderator. If you want, you don't have to. But the indie meetup is great. Oh, exchange student 2 is asking what you should sous vide next. You haven't done anything that way lately. So, but you've done the ribeyes, right? The sous vide ribeye? If not, have you done eggs in your sous vide? Soft boiled eggs? Oh, because they come out so great. Oh, yeah, the daily vlogs with the BBBE. Yeah, a few people have mentioned that they'd like to see some of that again. And I'm sort of working on something, but I don't quite have it down yet. So, but I'm working on it. I'll see what I can do to help you guys out with that. But for the most part, I will tell you that right now I'm on a HotPot kind of bender, and I'm eating like HotPot every day. I don't know, it's just very comforting, and it makes a really great. It just has been really hitting right for me. Let's see. Oh, exchange student 2 has made steak and chicken, but not eggs. Yeah, the soup, the eggs come out really nice. Let's have some more of this pork. It's also messy to eat because it drips down. You know, don't wear your nice clothes to hot pot. Just cooking my meats. So, oh, and let's see, Keto Simple says, that's the best thing to use it for. Which one, the eggs or the ribeye? You know what? It's been so long that since I've done the eggs in the sous vide, I don't remember the timing and would have to look it up again. More ponzu. Oh, and Air Fry Nanny says she might have to go to the store after the live for some cabbage and bok choy for some egg roll in a bowl. I love egg roll in a bowl too. Same flavor profile. You're right. So I'm just gonna throw some meats in here. And let them simmer up, because now I'm done fiddling around and I'm ready to eat my dinner. Once this live is done, I throw my meatballs in here. Adjust my temperature again. Oh, Carrie says the Ponzu might have animals in it because of the zoo. It's Ponzu, Z-U. But I love your jokes. I think that they're such nice plays on words. Which, by the way, so this was really full when I first got it, and as we've been pulling stuff in and all of that, the level of the broth has already gone down, even though it didn't seem like we were eating a bunch of it. So I'm just letting these meats come up to temperature. I'm going to use my spoon here to eat some of these things from my dish. Thank you so much, Air Fry Nanny. I really appreciate you putting up that info. So good. But yeah, that is pretty much everything for the hot pot. I said I'm going to have the leftovers, but now that I've started eating, I'm reminded about how hungry I was. And I think as soon as we're done with the live, I'm going to sit there with my hot pot and watch cartoons and like chow down. It's just, I don't know, it's always delightful for me. It's literally my very favorite thing in the whole wide world. And, except for ribeye steak. But when you have wafer thin ribeye in there, then it's just like the combo, the best of both worlds. So the matcha is really easy to mess up because you have to do the special preparation for it. And I will tell you, the best thing you could do is, if you don't have the special little matcha whisk, is to, let me get my frother, get one of the frothers or blender or a single blender and use that. Put a little bit of the fluid that you're using with the matcha and use those devices to blend it up and break it up. If you're using the whisk, again, only a little bit of water and the matcha, and whisk, 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 whisk until everything has cohesed. Then add the rest of your liquid to it. Plus, then you can also adjust how much liquid you need, and you can get the consistency that you are looking for. All right. I have fogged up my glasses. There we go. So that's the matcha trick. And I will tell you, most people need sweetener in matcha. It's lofty to go unsweetened. It's a strong, sturdy flavor. Yeah, Carrie, it definitely, matcha is high caffeine. So not only does it have caffeine, it's high in caffeine. So you definitely won't be doing that. I left my napkin, so I have to use a paper towel. I'm sure you guys can survive with knowing that not every meal do I remember my linen napkin. Oh, Air Frying Auntie says on Temu, don't search for adult anything. I could see that. Now I wonder how many people are going to go look for adult things on Temu after this, just for the chuckles. Yeah, exchange student too. I have to double check that because it's been a long time since I've used the sous vide for the eggs, and I don't want to tell you wrong. I got to double check my notes. My notebook is actually upstairs in my office, because why would I keep my cooking book in my kitchen where it would be handy and easily available? I don't know. That would only be logical. So I'll get that for you, and I'll post it. I'll send it over to you. Craziness. Let's see. Oh, and Ella Strange said she got a mini hot pot. Awesome. Well, I hope that you like it. Like I said, is it the greatest hot pot ever? No, but well, you know, it was dirt cheap, and obviously you saw it came to a boil, no problem. So good. Anyways, I feel like I was forgetting something with the hot pot, but it's too late now because I'm in it. Oh, I see the time at 7:23. So ask more questions now. Now is the time. So, oh, I do have something important to say about the hot pot. Let me take this bite. I'm going right into the ponzu with my cabbage. Got some little mushrooms in there too. I use my own broth. There are tons and tons and tons of recipes and flavor profiles for broth that you can use. Be forewarned. Pre-packaged broth or pre-made broths are not necessarily, more often than not, are not keto friendly. And when you go to the restaurant for hot pot, you need to ask them lots of questions. For the most part, you're probably stuck with the miso, and if you don't tolerate tofu, then the miso is out too, and you need to ask them for water. Bring some flavorings with you that you can add on your own. No worries though, because all of the meats and stuff cooked in the water will flavor it up. Bring your salts with you and stuff like that. But you need to be aware that the stuff in the Asian groceries that are the prepackaged soup broths, they are all full of starches and sugar, really high, tons and tons. So you definitely need to make your own. And when you go out, like I said, sometimes they do have just the plain old chicken broth. And their chicken broth is like the best because they do use like the chicken feet for the collagen and all of that. But a lot of their stuff will have cornstarch in it. So you just gotta ask. Yep. I use dried mushrooms for a lot of stuff, mostly for flavoring. I actually like to grind it and use it in an umami seasoning mix of my own. But you should know that if you get a hot pot and you get it going, and you get your broth broiling first, you can put the dried mushrooms in there to add that umami flavor, and they will rehydrate appropriately. And L Strange says, yes, that there's usually a hot pot bar with sauces and flavorings, but who knows what's in it, right? So that would be a Chinese hot pot that usually has the bar with the sauces. Sometimes the Japanese ones will, but not always. And if you go to one that is Mongolian, 50-50 as well. So, let's see. Oh, Exchange Student says she has shiitake and oyster. You know what? Shiitakes are amazing in soups. Boil up your broth and rehydrate them. They will be excellent. My meatball was really hot. Temperature hot, not spicy hot. So let's see. Carrie says he needs to find the Asian markets to see if they have cheap meats. Is that possible? So the Asian market may have cheap meat, but often I will tell you sometimes they're more expensive, but they're more expensive because they are higher quality. Like I said, the Asian market is where I got the Sakura pork, which of course is, you know, it has the nice fat marbling, comes from the heritage hogs, and is on regenerative farm. So those are all like some high-end stuff. But I will tell you that if you buy stuff that's frozen, like the pork sticks, which is just pork loin cut up into little teeny slivers, so it's perfect for like a stir fry, you're right, it will be cheaper. And you can often buy some of the things that our bougier grocery stores charge a fortune for, like hooves, or the chicken feet, or tripe. You know what, they charge a lot for that in a lot of the butcher shops and stuff, and in the international groceries, they are rock bottom dollars because it's a staple. So yeah, the international groceries are your friend because they often have a huge selections. Let's see. Let's see. And in case you don't know what a heritage breed is, heritage breeds are just old breeds that have not had alterations to them. So they're often fattier. They're good. Like Wagyu is a heritage breed in the beef area. So, and Carrie says tripe in HEB is not cheap, right? But if you go to a Latino market and you buy tripe, it will be very cheap. So, and Renee says she relies on the Asian markets for harder to find items versus ordering online, and specialty stuff she doesn't mind paying a little bit more for. Yeah, so it's a lot of different options. So I just was going to add, normally you would have noodles in here, so all of these sauces that are dripping back and forth would be going in and flavoring your noodles. Reach your noodles at the end and slurp them up in the broth that has evolved over the time. One thing I saw today that I did not buy, and I am kicking myself for it, but I haven't had the experience with it, and I wanted to research it first, was I saw pork skin, but it was frozen, but it was in teeny tiny little shreds. So I'm really curious because I don't know if it would work as a noodle thing. So, oh, Ella Strange is asking if I make menudo. Looking for recipes. If you want to ketofy your menudo, it's not going to be technically menudo because you would just leave out the hominy. You can chop up some cauliflower, lightly cook it first to kind of take away some of the cauliflower and give it a good salting in the steam. Then add that to the menudo, and yes, but I will tell you, menudo at home is best cooked outside, or in my case, at someone else's house, because the initial boiling of the tripe permeates the house with a very strong odor, and in our house it lingers for such a long time. So I don't tend to make it at home. I have some friends and they own a restaurant and a food truck where they make menudo for every Sunday, and I tend to just I ask them to pull some out without the hominy for me, and they do. So I prefer to be lazy, and they know it. So, oh, Renee says she likes how I say menudo, but I don't know why it's different than other people. But that's all right. So, all right, guys, it is 7:30. Feel free to post more questions in the comments if you have them. I hope that I got everything. I hope that you like hearing about the HotPot and a little lightweight history. We didn't deep dive it, just a little bit. So, oh, and Renee says she does hear it said that way a lot in Texas. Okay, well that's good. Anyways, I'm gonna get off the computer, and let's see. Oh, and oh, Carrie says one of their chefs made homemade dashi from fish head and other parts of the fish. Wow, that's extreme. That's gotta be hard. You know what? Two Crazy Ketos Joe has one of those freeze dryers. I bet he could do that. Not me. I do not have a freeze dryer, so I cannot. All right, you guys. You have a great night. I will see you guys over the course of the week, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.